let's take a good seat. If you haven't already, do a nice manual inner rotation. The inner thighs rolls you to the frontmost and innermost edge of your sits bones. And come to a place of stillness. And check in. Notice what's going on, body, mind, and spirit. Check in with the body first, how it's, if there's aches, or I call them sort of thuds, places I just can't feel at all. They're not quite numb into tingling numb, but I just have no sense of them. And then there's places that are very vocal. If there's an injury or an old injury showing up. And then the spirit, this long haul, and looking that it, who knows, not just months, maybe a year of doing this kind of hybrid, only going out when you have to. Settling in, there's a sense of wanting to fight it, and then total resignation. We're working somewhere in between there, working towards something in between. And set your intention for your practice. Working the gratitude into the practice on some level, draw the palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, exhale, cleansing breath. Inhale to Om. Om. Release the hands, flutter the eyes open. So let's do a little pranayama here. Scoot back a bit. The breath work, the pranayama, is so important now. Particularly, we know that this virus attacks the lungs. So should you get it, then we want to have as healthy and open the lungs as exercised as possible. So this is called a Viloma A, and it's a retention. Now, some of the breath we do, Kapalabhati, is really good. That's that passive inhale, very forceful exhale, like when you cough, but you do it through your nose. So I'd recommend you doing that at home a lot, so you're not around people. When I have people in the studio, I'm less inclined to want to do a lot of heavy breathing and pushing it out. But the Viloma A is a very soft, easeful breath. And if you think about, you have the 3 areas, the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And even though we know, I say this all the time, because I have a lot of people who know the body well, and they say, can you really move your sits bones apart? Well, you can't, but it feels like it. So it's like, I want to be specific. Even though you cannot actually inhale the low belly, what happens is as you inhale, if you relax the low belly appears to inflate because the diaphragm drops down. But you can actually literally breathe into the middle side ribs and the upper chest. But what we'll do is we'll start, if we take a big inhale, exhale, cleansing breath, then you inhale for 3 counts into the low belly. Hold about right here at the belly button for 3 counts. We'll inhale into the ribs, particularly think of moving the ribs out to the side. Hold right about the heart center. And then inhale for 3 here in the chest and hold for 6. Then slowly exhale all the way out for 9. Now what happens, at least for me, especially until the muscles around my lungs get relaxed, is I'll run out of breath about somewhere in here. I'll hold here and then I won't be able to take the full breath here. So my adaptation has been what I call the zigzag breath. So if I inhale for 3 in the low belly, hold here for 3, and if you feel you need it, take what I call a little zigzag breath. So just a tiny little exhale, little bitty exhale. So you can inhale here. You can also take the zigzag breath here, where it's in the hold, a tiny little exhale, not a gasp, but just like not even noticeable, but just noticeable to you because you're not fighting it. Then the hold, it's fairly fast, so we'll work through it. I'll do a few counts, a few rounds of counts, and then have you do some on your own. So take a big inhale, exhale, cleansing breath. Inhale, belly, 2, 3, hold. Inhale, ribs, 2, 3, hold. Inhale, chest, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Take a breath. So when you first do these, sometimes we typically do these one right after the other, but in the beginning, it's kind of like, and we start to tense too much. So if you're tensing, just soften a little bit and take a little more inhale. So it's all through the nose as best you can, unless you're congested with allergies. So take another cleansing breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, belly, 2, 3, hold. Inhale, ribs, 2, 3, hold. Inhale, chest, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, belly, 2, 3, hold. Inhale, ribs, 2, 3, hold. Inhale, chest, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Continue on your own pace. It's 3, hold 3, in 3, hold 3, in 3, hold 6. Exhale, 9. Continue at your own. Don't hurry, but the next time you exhale fully, just come back to normal breath. And so what that does is it helps us relax into the hold. When you hold, just remember, if you practice this on your own, just expand into the hold. A lot of times we clench into the hold. See if you can open and relax. It's shaping the breath. So the breath is like clay. You shape it, you don't force it. Otherwise the clay bites back. Right, let's come either to hands and knees or to the chair. We'll do cat-cow. So on the chair, cat-cow, you're on the edge, sitting well, and you can round and arch. We'll get to the chair eventually, so you can either start on the chair or come to hands and knees if you prefer it there. But you're feeling yourself roll to the back of the sits bones and roll to the front. In fact, if it's not a padded chair, ours here are not padded. I hear it like click, click over it. You might want some padding on the chair to help. Or hands and knees. And if your hands and knees, you can go bigger. Exhale all the way back. And inhaling forward. Working the spine, warming it up. And while you're here, didn't tell you guys you have a ball. I know we always use this. So have the ball and or your fingers and work the hands. So if it's comfortable to sit here, a hero pose or sit up on the chair, but work the hands in any way that you want. You can do it hands and knees and roll it up this way. There's multiple roads to nirvana. I start to, what is it? Maybe it's from my art school training, but it's like always come up with 3 options. When you have 2 options, you create a binary, like either or, yes, no, do this or do that. And 2 choices always make me uncomfortable, whether it's in a design field or whether it's in an emotional, like I have 2 choices, stay or go, right? Close or open. I like multiple choices. Not sure what my 3rd choice would be with close or open, but this is it, like hybrid. All right, put the ball away for a bit. If you're on the floor, come into a downward facing dog. If you're on the chair, come into a dog on the chair with the hands on either the seat or your hands can be on the top. If they're on the top of the chair, press down so you don't knock it over. But you can do a version of dog here on the seat of the chair. Soften the knees. And stretch. If you're on downward, if you're on regular dog with both hands and feet on the floor, in fact, you can even pedal out here on the chair as well. Bending one knee, lifting the heel, working out the feet before we roll them out. And then inhale, walk your hands. If you're on the floor, walk your hands back to your toes. If you're on the chair, walk your feet up towards the chair and come up to stand. All right, work the feet. Ow, sorry. Wake up. Press them down. You can hold on to the chair, hold on to the wall, or play with your balance. So I recommend keeping the feet fairly wide apart. If you have the feet really close together, then I'm tippier. But if I have them fairly wide apart, so really, if you can step your back foot back a little, you have to get off of. So step your feet like a little wider this way, right? As opposed to here. If I'm here, then I can bend my knees and start to press into, and bend your back knee and rock your weight over to the out. And keep working down the foot if you haven't already. And notice if the feet are particularly tight, I'll tend to either grip my fingers, punch my shoulders, and see if you can keep it out of the upper body. And if you're not already to the back of the heel, roll here, start to work it. And roll and scribble and rinse. And pause. Get off. I just love noticing the difference. All right, side feet. Press first. If you're digging in with your hands, both of you have a ball and we have our balls here. You're just pressing into the ball of the foot, right at the base of each toe, right in the leathery part of the ball of the foot. Then start to work in the soft arch, inner arch, outer arch, center. I just take a little zigzag stitch across the sole of the foot. And then begin to scribble. And let it go. Stand well, just stand for a moment. If you have a strap nearby, use it. If you don't, you can do this without a strap. Coming into a morning back bend with a strap. Stand well, feet parallel, soften the knees. Hug the heels isometrically towards each other. And if you want to feel, if you're hugging the heels towards each other, you feel the inner knees work a bit. So a lot of times what we do is we roll in. We tend to roll in. So either you have that tendency or you have the opposite. But if that's your tendency, hug the heels towards each other, 4 corners of the feet down, press the shins forward. That means you're micro bending your knees. inner thighs move back. Now you'll notice that if your inner thighs move back, the heels want to pull apart as well, interject. But you keep hugging the heels together as you take the inner thighs back. Keep pulling it all together. Tailbone moves down and slightly forward to lengthen the spine. If you take the belt fairly wide and come into cactus here. Fold the belt back. So Tuesday, it was just Allison and I. So we had a really nice, she talked about our shoulders. I love, my shoulders felt good that day. We just did a whole shoulder, neck, and then we had to work into the hips. Release and hold behind you, either close together. The thumbs can be touching, or you can have them farther apart. You can step away from the wall, Ruby, a bit, step away. And again, your legs are kind of soft. Like if you've ever played sports, you know that you don't lock your knees like in volleyball. I know when I was watching my granddaughters as they were growing into that, now they're really good. But in the beginning, the kids are just standing there with their locked knees where they can't get the ball. So you've got to be a little bit ready, right? Ready to go. Lift the arms and lower. And notice the tendency when you lift the arms is to throw the head forward. So keep pulling the top and bottom of the ears back evenly as best you can. And you just lift and pull apart and lower. Working the back muscles across the shoulder blades, in and around the shoulder. And then you can continue to do this, or if it's in your wheelhouse today, you can go half forward bend and pull the arms overhead, or pull forward bend. Oh my gosh. Notice if one arm is pulling faster than the other, you can tell. One usually is the bossier sibling. Inhale halfway up if you bent over, and come, breathe again. Next inhale, push down and rise. Shake off. Set the belt aside for a moment. All right. So the chair, if you place the chair, so the back of the chair would be against the wall, Ruby, towards the wall. Yeah. You may or may not want a block near you, but right now we'll use the chair. All right, so I'll be mirroring you guys there. So if you sit on the edge of the chair with your left thigh all the way on the edge of the chair, and then inner rotate the back legs and wiggle it back. Now, if this leg, the back leg, your right leg does not straighten, or in other words, I can see Ruby's already straightening it, but she's having to roll to do it. So it would be better to bend it and pull it in to get upright as best you can. You're feeling a stretch here? Yeah. So you want to feel a stretch here. Right now, all my weight is on the chair. A little bit of weight on the back foot, but almost nothing on the front foot, right? All right, now keep that and inner rotate the thighs, particularly the back thigh. So you're rolling, that means your outer hip, your right hip is moving forward, your left hip is moving back. You can hold on to the back of the chair as you need to. So if you can, come back this way. Yeah, you might need to even move it away from the wall a little bit. It's a little too scrunched out. Back leg can be bent, but you're pulling the back toes forward. In fact, bend your back knee, pull the back toes forward, and the front foot now begins to pull back. Even though there's pretty much no weight on the front foot, I'm isometrically pulling it back. You feel this? You feel this a fair bit of work here. If this is too easy peasy for you right now, it feels good for me, but a little deeper stretch, you just straighten the leg. But this, if you're feeling some stretch across the front of the thigh, you're good. So it's more about what you're feeling rather than what it looks like. Straighten or not, you're still pulling the back toes forward, front foot back. The left hand can be on the back of the chair. If you guys are using dining chairs, you'll just have to figure out where to hold. And then scissor the legs and see if you can start to take a little more weight in the legs. Have the hand on the hip, or it can just, I like it on the hip. See if you can start to take a little more weight in the legs, where I'm not lifting off the chair, but I'm having less and less weight, more work, yeah?
Even if you don't even pull much off at all, you feel it. Yeah, I see Ruby's like, stop. She's so sweet though, she never complains. And release. Oh. So chair yoga, you can work so much more deeply because you're not having to worry about falling down. There's that. All right, sit on the edge of the chair again, legs wide, and just come to your forearms and lengthen the spine. Sits bones are moving back, widen the pelvic floor, so you're moving to the frontmost and innermost edge of the sits bone. If it's doable for you, you can touch the floor, but about lengthening the spine. I'll turn to the side. So you can do this. This is kind of like what basketball players do after they're exhausted and resting, or people on the sidelines. It's more about lengthening the spine, pulling the head of the arm bones back. And then you can come down deeper if you want a bigger stretch in the thighs. You can work on the blocks to come a tiny bit deeper. But it's about lengthening the spine and pulling the head of the arm bones up towards the ceiling and stretching forward. Some of you might be able to get the hands all the way down to the floor. The inner thighs moving back, tailbone lengthened. And on your next inhale, come back up to center. All right, side B. You're shifting now to the right thigh, and you're right on the edge of the chair. And you have to lift up and inner rotate the back leg a lot. So the outer left hip is moving towards the floor, the inner left thigh is moving up towards the ceiling. Again, it can be almost this way, as long as you're feeling some sort of stretch across the back of the thigh. Isometrically pull the back toes forward, front foot back. The inner thighs, particularly the back leg, moves back, tailbone lengthens to protect the back. And you'll notice if you lengthen the tailbone down, I feel more of a stretch across the quadricep. Then move the weight off the chair, not off the chair, but as though you're about ready to stand up without help. So you scissor in, even though I have a fair bit of weight on the chair. If you pull the chair out, I move on. But I've got less than this, not flesh, totally. Scissoring up and release. Oh, I know. That's deep, right? Yeah. Very deep. All right, we'll do the same thing on the other side, only different. So, it's an oxymoron or am I a moron? I don't know. All right, come back to the same side. You're up on the, just almost falling off the edge of the chair. And then your left hand is holding wherever is comfortable. So the shoulders are facing your front knee, your left knee. Scissor the legs. And this time, stretch your outside arm, your straight leg arm, and then your right arm up and come into half beach bend. So you're in here. Draw the elbow forward, soften the armpit back. As you're scissoring the legs and taking some of the weight off the thigh on the chair, just maybe even minuscule, push back and curl back. Tailbone has to be long. Breathe. Release the right hand, hold the inner edge of the right thigh, reach back. So you're holding on here. Pull the inner thigh up. And if you have the balance, otherwise hold on, stretch the left arm up, your front leg arm, hold the back of the head, and beach babe here. If you're feeling this in the low back, try to lift off the chair more, use more legs and tailbone lengthen, and release. I know, right? Ruby and I are both going. You guys okay there? Yeah, good, okay. All right, second side, second time. How many verses does this song have? 100 bottles of beer. All right, settle in. Back knee can be bent, that's not a problem. You're still working the legs. The hips are squaring towards, for us, the short edge of the mat. I'm not sure where your chairs are here, but you're squaring towards your front knee side. And then the first one is, you're holding onto that. Stretch the straight leg, your left arm up. Half beach babe. You can use the chair here to help to hold onto the chair with the right arm, inside the bent leg arm, and curl back. And then reverse it for a little more twist. Hold on to the inner edge of the back leg. Pull it up, half beach babe. Push the head to the hand. Elbows forward, not out to the side, as you hug the armpit back into the shoulder socket. Oh, and release. This is about the time I'm saying, I forget to crank the AC up down a little cooler. All right, forward bend again, just to release anything going on in the back. If there's anything going on in the back, you can also do round and arch here to release. All right. And then if you're sitting on the edge, turn it a diagonal here, sitting on the edge of the chair, as best you can. Lift, I'll lift my right leg, but you can lift whatever leg you want and cross over for the number 4 and sit up as straight as you can. Ruby, if you walk the bottom foot out a little bit, there's that a little better, it gives you a little bit of space. If you're not feeling anything here, I'm thinking, Allison, you may not be feeling anything in the hip flexor. Put the foot on the floor up on a block, and that will lift your, it's like pulling the legs closer to the, you feel that a little bit more, if you want a little more stretch. This is what I call the stretch when you're sitting at a desk too long or sitting too long. The foot is flexed. Push the foot into the floor of the block down and pull it back just slightly isometrically. You can hold on to the chair, bend the elbows, pull back and lift the chest, a little back bend here. If this is maybe a little strong, but not so much, like if you've got enough, you just hold here and come out of the back bend. And if you just rest your, so in this case, my right knee is on top, you rest your right elbow just in the inside of the right knee, or you can take the right hand and just press on the inside, but you're not pressing down, you're giving resistance, and the knee is pushing up into the arm. Soften the face, the jaw, Ruby. She's working so hard. This seems easy, but not so easy. And release. Take off. So that's what I call my chair pigeon. You know me, I'm trying to find all different ways to do the pigeon stretch. You're stretching the hip flexors, the glutes, the piriformis. Change sides. Now, if you find that you're cramping while you're doing this, then don't hold it so long. Let go, change to the other side, let go, change to the other side. The top foot, in this case, my left foot, is flexed, not sickling or relaxing the foot. It's like it's standing on the floor. Your standing foot, the foot on the floor, is pressing into the floor or the block and pulling back. Sits bones moving back and wide apart. If you're not feeling, and then take the back bend first. So you're not really back bending much, reaching back and curling back. Oh. As the sits bones are moving back and the pelvic floor widens, then you can tilt slightly forward if that's in your wheelhouse, otherwise hold it back. And put a little pressure on the inside of the knee with the forearm and push, or you can take the hand, forearm, and just don't then engage the shoulders of it. And it's just stabilizing. You're not pushing down on the knee. The knees don't like to go sideways. You're pushing up with the knee. The knee is controlling it. This is just stable. The forearm is stable. The inner knee is pushing up. Then you tilt from the hips as far forward, not rounding, but tilting. And release. Shake off. All right. Come back up and do a chair dog. Hands on either the back of the chair. You can do regular dog on the floor if you want to. Back of the hands on the seat work for me. Lengthen the back. All right. Then you can sit on the chair, again, on the edge. And you can leave it where it is, Ruby, it's fine. probably. I don't think you're too close to the wall. We'll do a twist. If you have a block, put the block between the knees and the feet easy. If you want to, you can always lift the feet. Sometimes because we're going to need 3 blocks actually. That just makes it higher. I wouldn't suggest doing that. We'll keep it down. So this is just, again, just pulling the volume up a little bit. Or in my case, and maybe Allison's, I like my thighs to be either more at this angle. I just don't like them to be down at that angle. And sometimes the chair is too high, especially if your chair is high at home, like a dining chair might be higher than this chair. So you might put blocks over here. Squeeze a block between the knees. And that gives you feedback because as we turn, if you just do a little twist to one side, you'll notice the opposite knee moves forward. So you're keeping both knees even. With the right hand, take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Then the left hand reaches back somewhere on the chair to help pull you around. But don't, I mean, that's going to help you come around, but don't twist too much right now. Just little beginnings of the twist. So reset. You squeeze the knees together. Inner thighs move back and apart. Tailbone lengthens. And that's on the inhale, you lengthen from tailbone to crown. On the exhale, the ribs spin to the left as the low belly pulls back to the right. Even pull your outer right hip crease back. Inhale, lengthen and strengthen. Exhale, twist a tiny bit more, but not at the expense of letting the right knee come forward. Now, this is another great twist to do if you're sitting in the chair too long. And inhale, come back to center. Wow. That works. Side B, you're hugging the block, and you can feel, right, as if you keep a hug on the block, as soon as you twist, if you let the sacrum go, it means everything's angling and the knees coming forward. So that gives you some feedback. You're going to pull back with, in this case, my left outer hip crease as I turn to the right. You can start with the left hand to the outside of the right knee, and the right hand reaches back and somewhere on the chair helps pull you around, but do it in stages. So you inhale, you steady, strengthen, and lengthen up through the ground. Exhale, just the ribs turn, not the head yet, just the rib. Inhale, lengthen, maybe even glance back and check to see that your outside knee is not pulling forward. Keep pulling back with the outer left hip if you're turning to the right. And the low belly, that helps the low belly pull back to the left as well. This kind of push-pull tug keeps you from twisting as deeply as you might, but it keeps the sacrum so much happier. Otherwise, we can tend to kick it out of here and come back to center. All right. Let's come to standing. Placing the chair at one end of your mat. And Ruby, you might even want to back up against the wall for this one. Yep, you're right there, so you can, with your back to the wall and a chair close to the wall, that would be good, because then you'll have, that's an option to have double stability to back up against the wall and then have the chair. Otherwise, we'll do triangle in the middle. So take a wide stance. Point your right toes towards the chair, kind of almost under the chair, pretty much under the chair. Back foot is roughly the outer edges parallel or even slightly turned in more. That helps inner rotate the back leg. The hips are at a sort of a 45 or a cross diagonal across the body. You're not trying to take the right hip back, you're drawing it forward slightly. But then the upper body twists back to be parallel with the long edge of the neck. With both legs straight, pull up and in, hands on the hips. And as you push down with the hips, tilt forward. And you can go up against, you can be against the wall if you want to. Yeah, use the wall, don't worry about wall. Take the back of the head, if you're up against the wall, take the back of the head towards the wall, shoulder blades on the wall, or pretend it's there. then a right hand can either come to the seat of the chair, or I like stretching out to the top of the chairs, whatever version you want, and you tilt forward. What the hand on the top of the chair, but if you've got a big, tall dining room chair, it's interesting. You can try it, see what you think, and you tilt. Top arm, your left arm comes forward, pulls the head of the arm bone back, and then come into half beach shape here. Elbow comes forward towards the face, and then stretch the elbow towards the chair for a long stretch. What I like about the half beach babe pose, this is classic to stretch it out over the ear, but this gives my head something to do so it doesn't fall forward. And then inhale, press down to rise up. I'm going to switch my chair around to the other end so I can keep seeing you, but you can just turn to the other side, whatever works for you. So now your left foot pretty much under the chair, back foot either outer edge, baby toe side is parallel with the short edge of the mat, or you can even turn it in a little bit more. That feels good on my hip to turn it in slightly more, not a lot, just a bit. Hands on the hips. For those of you who tend to lock your knees, that would be Allison mostly. You've got to press the shin energetically forward. So for Allison, you, of course, it would feel like you're bending the knee. The rest of us, we're not locking the knee. It just doesn't show as much because I'm tighter, but it's not happy for the knee. So the hand can be on the chair or stretch it out. And if you're on the top of the chair, press down so you're not pushing the chair over. Again, here's my little, if I start to feel it right here in the inner knee, then it means I've pretty much locked my knee. So I have to even bend it more and use the legs, scissor the legs in. What I like about the arm on the top of the chair or reaching towards the chair is it keeps this, keep it where you, yeah, you pull it in closer. You're pressing down, that helps. You can lengthen the underside. That side's the one that gets collapsed. Top arm comes forward, pull the head of the arm bone in, come into half beach babe. Elbow comes close towards, the inner arm comes close to the cheek, and the elbows stretching towards the chair. You push the head into the hand into the head. When I do that fully, I feel a deeper stretch along the top of this, the right ribs. And inhale, release. Do a chair dog. Half forward bend on a chair. Can be on the top or on the seat. All right, now here's a fun one. Ruby, you may look at me and say, no, I don't think so. See if you can place your foot on the chair. Do your right foot, yeah. There you go. And then shift forward and hold on. Yeah, use the wall. You're on the inside of the knee. You're on the inside of the right knee. Yeah, best you can. Now, part of the problem may be that your back foot is like too close. If you move your back foot over towards the wall of it, so you might come out, step your back. Yeah, so you're in a wider stance. There you go. So you're inside the knee. So remember, we've done this on the floor. So you just reach for what you can. Here, good. Take a breath here. There you go. This is deep, right? Yeah, she's breathing, Ruby. Part your lips. There you go. All right. So for the rest of you, you just maybe your right shoulder will come to the inside of the right knee. If the right knee is pressing somewhere on the arm, press the knee into the arm and let the arm push it back. Deep hip openers today. Breathe, take softness. And you can back out of it as you need to. The back heel can come up if that helps, give you some space. It does not have to be down, but putting it down, the back heel down, stretches the back of the thumb. And then work towards straightening the front leg. Now, if touching the chair and straightening the legs is not an option, come here. Maybe you can hold on to the wall as you need to, but square your shoulders towards the chair. Yeah, nice.
So this is a version of runner stretch. Oh. And then release. Ah. Second side, again, your feet still need to be railroad tracks apart, not tightrope. Yeah, so your right foot's over to the right side and the left foot goes over to the left side. Bend the knees, the arms come to the inside, holding either on the back of the chair or not, or just coming forward. Yeah, that's good. This side's a little more open, right? Ruby? Yeah. She says, quicker. She said, I don't know, I'm not talking to you, whatever you say is fine. I can't even hear anything. My ears are busted. So again, more space if you lift the back heel, you get a little more space to come forward. Stretch the back heel down, stretches the back of the calf. Oh, that's good. And some part of your shoulder or a left arm is pushing on your inner left knee, and the knee's pushing back. You just crawl in as deep as you want. Oh, but hugging the knee in really goes deep into the hip. And then stretch for a runner stretch. Straighten, it can be this way, where you're straightening all the way up. Ruby, you can use the wall, careful, yeah, if you want, or take a break as you need to. Or if it works to reach for the chair, but you know, whatever. And release. Off of it. Take a chair dog or a wall dog or a regular dog on the floor. Stretch it out. Right. So Ruby, you can do the rest of these, some version of the rest of these in the chair. The rest of us come all the way to the floor. Ah. Draw the knees in, hands on top of the knees, and just circle. So Ruby, what you can do is a little bit of a gentle cat-cow here. It's just easy, take it easy, roll it in. It circles one way and then the other. If you have your strap, maybe you can do this sitting on the edge of the chair. We've done this before. Let's start with draw your left leg in. It's called sole of the foot. Slide your hands down the straps so the elbows can come close to your ribs. Recover your low back curve. Part of that is caused by pushing your elbows into the earth, lifting the shoulder blades off the floor a smidge, and snug them together. Put the head of the arm bones back down. And then pushing with the down foot, the right foot, not hard, not so much you get a hamstring cramp, but pushing to the floor and gently pull back the heel, the right heel back towards the hips, and the low back will start to peel off the floor as the sits bones drop towards the floor. We'll just breathe here a moment, and you pull the left leg in, the foot in towards the head, but not at the expense of the low back. So I can pull it in farther and pull it in this far, but my low back is totally on the floor and the sits bones are pointing up to the ceiling. If I'm trying to keep the sits bones moving down towards the floor, towards the right heel, then I can't pull the leg in that far. Just actually healthier for my SI joint. And then rotate the leg in and out, in and out. The next time you rotate in, you're rotating from the hip socket. With the, if you're holding on to, if the straps are on the left foot, hold on to the straps with the right hand and inner rotate both legs, the bent leg and the straight leg, and cross them over. So the right leg goes to the left leg goes to the right. You're making a little X. It's a small movement. And the outer left hip is trying to move towards the floor and you're keeping your low back curve. Just stretch along the IT band.
Come back to center, legs in neutral, both straps in the left hand. Outer rotate the leg from the hip socket. Again, keeping your low back curve as soon as you start to let the leg release. So for the first one, we usually try to keep the right knee straight up. It's not wrong to lower it, but do it consciously. So this time, lower the right knee out into like a butterfly pose, and the left leg as though it were in butterfly pose, but it's straight. You're still hugging to the midline, so the right foot is pressing against an imaginary left foot, and the left foot's pressing out against the strap. Inhale back to center. Stretch both legs long. Shake off a little bit. Bend both knees. Take the strap around the right foot. One strap in each hand. Bend the elbows, press the elbows into the earth and lift your shoulder blades, snuggle them in together. Have the arm bones tucked back down. Then the left foot gently pressing into the earth and pulling back. If you do that too hard, if I do that too hard, I get a hamstring cramp. But so just watch it. You know, what's more important is that the sits bones begin to tilt towards the heel, your left heel side of the mat, and the low back waist lifts off. And then as you pull the foot towards the head, only so far as you can keep the low back curve. Again, I can collapse it all the way, but I'm not getting as deep a stretch actually, or as healthy a stretch for my joints. And then rotate the leg in, rotate it out from the hip socket. In and out, just working the joint. We want our hip joints to hold with us as best we can. With both straps in your left hand and the strap around the right, inner rotate both legs and just cross them over. The left knee comes to the right leg goes to the left. The outer right hip crease, you can even use your right hand to pull it away from the belly. Take it away and down towards your foot. All right, and inhale, come back to center. Switch hands with the strap, reset your back so your low back is still off the floor. Outer rotate, and this time the left knee goes all the way out as the right leg goes out, still maintaining your low back curve. Press your bent leg, your left foot, into an imaginary right foot as though you were doing the butterfly Baddha Konasana pose. Round angle. And then push out through the straight leg foot, through the strap. Shoulders are soft, jaw is soft, breath is soft. Inhale, come back to center, stretch both legs long. Shake it off. Your feet are doing a little flutter by here, back and forth, and the head and neck are soft and go with it. Just the short, soften out. Okay, for Ruby, here's where your seated meditation comes in. For those of you on the floor, it's optional to use the chair, but it sure does feel good. You can do a supported bridge on the chair. Put your roll in the back. If your bum's fairly close to the chair, have a block near you. First, you put the feet on the chair. Now, you have to be careful that the chair doesn't slide. But if you put your feet on the chair, lift your hips, slide the block underneath you. It's like a supported shoulder stand. Then the feet, if you've got a back to the chair and it won't let you put your feet through, you can pull the feet on the chair this way. Snuggle the shoulder blades under the back. Release the arms at your side with the palms up. So make this comfortable. Nice supported bridge pose as a restorative. We'll stay here about 3 minutes. And then you have a choice. If you're comfortable and this feels great, stay here for your Shavasana. Otherwise, we'll come out and shift into Shavasana. Regular. You can have your legs on the chair for regular Shavasana, like legs up the wall, or straight. Cut the lights here. Maybe. So there's not the lights in your eyes. Yeah. The supported bridge is a nice, simple, gentle inversion where your legs, your feet are higher than your hips. Your hips are higher than your heart. Your heart is higher than your head. And if you're sitting in the chair a lot, so I know you're working a lot, how to take some breaks. I have one of those big, huge balls near my desk, and sometimes you just roll over it to support it back there in the wall. Maybe change positions. Breathe. Releasing everything. If you want to transition out of supported bridge into regular Shavasana, do that. Otherwise, you can hold this. It's good. You let everything settle towards the earth. Swallow, soften the throat, like the back teeth slightly, the lips slightly. The base of the tongue is relaxed. And the palate relaxes back. Hollows of the cheeks squeeze. Moves and temples. The eyeballs settle back. As all the muscles around the eyes release. Space between the eyebrows, the third eye softens all the way into the center of the skull. Forehead and scalp release and soften. Very softly watch the breath. While exhales come up, let them just drift away with birds in the sky. Choosing not to follow them.
Hips are still on the block. Just release them down for the final few minutes. Let's them stay on the chair or straighten. Begin to deepen your breath. Moving your fingers and your toes, hands and feet, stretching your arms and legs, yawning and stretching the muscles in your face. Draw your knees in and roll to your side. And rest there for a few moments. And rolling a little more towards the floor. Use the strength in your arms. You can just sit either on a chair, on the floor, anything that works for you. Just sit well. The spine is long, heart is open. Try your palms together. Namaste.